Have you ever really stopped to think about where words come from? I mean, we tend to think we just find them, right? But the truth is actually way more exciting. Words are built piece by piece, kind of like these incredible, intricate structures. And in this explainer, we're going to be the architects. So let's just jump right in with a little puzzle. How do you get from a simple, everyday word like use all the way to a powerful idea like reusable? It's not magic, not at all. It's actually engineering. It's about taking a core idea and knowing exactly how to add new parts to it. And that, right there, is the big secret we're diving into. The secret is in the architecture. You see, every single word has a blueprint, a foundation, and a whole set of building blocks that attach to it to change its shape and what it does. All right, so let's unroll that blueprint and really take a look at how we construct our language, one piece at a time. Okay, so the official, technical term for this whole building process is affixation. It sounds complicated, but it's not. You start with a root, that's the foundation of your word, then you add these special building blocks to it. Linguists have a name for these blocks, they call them morphemes, and adding them is exactly how you change a word's meaning or even its job in a sentence. Now, every architect needs a good toolbox, right? So let's open ours up and meet the essential tools we use for building words. And these are all the different types of affixes. Okay, first up, we've got prefixes. These are the tools you stick right on the very beginning of a word. You know them, things like un, re, or pre. Their main job is usually to change the meaning of the word, like flipping happy to its total opposite, unhappy. But what's interesting is they almost never change the word's job. Happy is an adjective, and unhappy is still an adjective. Next up are suffixes, which, yeah, you guessed it, attach to the end of a word. Now, this is where it gets really cool, because this tool is a master of transformation. Suffixes can, and often do, change a word's entire grammatical category. Just take the verb teach, slap the suffix "er" on the end, and poof, you've just built a totally new thing. A noun, teacher. And now for a really fun one. This is a real specialty tool, especially in English. Infixes. These guys don't go on the beginning or the end. They're shoved right into the middle of a word. In English, we mostly just use them for emphasis, in informal speech. The classic example is abso-bloody-lutely. It's definitely rare, but what a fascinating little tool to have in the toolbox. And believe me, word architecture gets even wilder around the world. Some languages use a tool we don't really have in English, the circumfix. It's actually brilliant. It's a prefix and a suffix that work together as a team, completely surrounding the root. For instance, in German, the word for loved is geliebt. That gay at the start and the end at the end both have to be there to get the job done. So we have all these tools in our toolbox. But here's the thing. They don't all do the same job. They actually have two very different functions. One is for building entirely new words from the ground up, and the other is just for making tiny adjustments to fit the rules of grammar. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Over on the left, you've got derivational affixes. Think of these as your heavy-duty construction tools. They create entirely new words, like turning the verb establish into the noun establishment. Then on the right, you have inflectional affixes. These are all about the grammatical fine-tuning. They don't make a new word, they just add a little bit of info, like adding an S to make cat plural, or an ED to put walk in the past. So here's the crucial takeaway. Derivational builds, inflectional adjusts. Okay, now that we know the tools and what they do, let's put on our hard hats and do a little construction. We're going to build a word from scratch, step by step. Let's circle all the way back to our original puzzle, reusable. How's it built? Well, first, we lay the foundation with the root word use. Simple enough. Next, we bring in our derivational suffix, able. That changes the verb use into the adjective usable. Now we have a solid structure to work with. And finally, we add our prefix, re, to this brand new base to create our final word, reusable. See? It's just a layered, totally logical process. But construction isn't always perfectly clean. Sometimes, after you've assembled all the pieces, you gotta do a little sanding and polishing, just to make sure everything fits together smoothly and, sounds natural. This final polishing stage is what linguists call allomorphy. It's a fancy name, I know, but it's for a really simple idea. Sometimes, when you add a new piece to a word, the sounds have to change just a little bit to make the whole thing easier and more natural to say.
Oh, this is a fantastic example. The prefix in, which means not, is kind of like a chameleon. It actually changes its form to match whatever sound comes next. I mean, just try to say impossible. It's clunky, right? Impossible just rolls off the tongue. That little change from an N sound to an M sound is a perfect example of this sound polishing process in action. It's called assimilation.
And it's not just consonants, it happens with vowels too. When you add the suffix ity to divine, listen to how the vowel sound changes. Divine becomes divinity. That shift from that long I to a short I is another one of those automatic adjustments. It really is like sanding a piece of wood just to make a joint fit perfectly. It's our language being smart enough to smooth its own edges so everything flows. So there you have it, the blueprint for words. We've seen the tools in the toolbox, from prefixes to suffixes, and we've even looked at the subtle sound changes that polish our language. You are now officially equipped with the architect's vision. So I'll just leave you with this question. Now that you know the blueprint, what words will you never, ever see the same way again? Thanks for digging into this with me.